After a production run of 7 years, the end has come for the Renault Kadjar. Renault is introducing a completely new SUV. It's this SUV. This is the Renault Austral, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm going to show you the interior, the exterior, and we're going to take it out for a drive. But before we start the video, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, this is probably the best time to do so. Alright, let's get started. So this is the Renault Austral, or the Austral, or the Austral, or whatever you want to call it. What it is a completely new model by Renault, which doesn't happen that often, that they introduce a completely new model. The car is 4.5 meters long, which makes it a C-segment SUV, and it will rival cars like the Peugeot 3008, the Kia Sportage and the Nissan Qashqai. Now this car shares a lot of components with that last car, the Nissan Qashqai, because it uses the same platform, the CMF CD platform, which they developed with Nissan and also with Mitsubishi. This Austral is a bit bigger than the Qashqai, it's slightly longer, and it is also longer than its predecessor, the Kadjar. The wheelbase is of course the same as the new Nissan Qashqai, but overall this is a bigger car than the new Qashqai. The car is not only bigger than the Qashqai and also the Kadjar, the car also looks a lot meaner. There are a lot of strong lines on this car, a lot of hard curves. You also got a very mean looking grille with a lot of diamond inserts, and you also got this typical Renault C headlights that do look a bit meaner on this car than they look on the Kadjar. I do have to be honest, this is the meanest version that you can get. This is the Esprit Alpine edition. Esprit Alpine is the new sport line that Renault is introducing. It used to be the RS line, that used to be the sport line at Renault. Now Alpine, you know, by the sports cars that they make at the Renault Group, the Alpine brands, and of course also because of the Formula 1 team, and they try to make that connection a bit more obvious between Renault and Alpine, and so they are introducing an Esprit Alpine line. The Austral is the first car that is available with this Alpine line, and it looks like this. You got a lot of black accents on this car. There's no chrome to be seen on this version. You got all this black trim around the windows, also some black mirror caps, and some black trim around the wheel arches as well, and some black trim down here near the door sills, and even some black wheels. You also get that on this Alpine version. And another thing that you can get, if you pay extra, is this gray color on this car, this matte gray finish. I believe it's called gris schist, if I pronounced that correctly, and it looks pretty cool, I have to admit. But again, you have to pay extra for it, and you can only get it on this Alpine version. The Austral offers quite a bit of luggage space, 500 liters to be exact, which is pretty impressive in this segment. You can even get a bit more because you can slide the back seats forward. That is, however, an option if you want to have this movable, slidable back seat. But if you get that option, you can get 75 liters of extra storage space if you move the back seats all the way forward. Now there's also plenty of underfloor storage here as well. However, if you get this full hybrid version that I have here, you get the 12-volt battery here in the back, so that means there's substantially less space for luggage here on this full hybrid version. Then let's have a quick look at the back-end design of this brand new SUV by Renault. As you can see, it looks like a typical Renault SUV. You got the C-shaped lights again also here at the back. And they don't fully connect, which is a bit odd because that's like a really big trend nowadays. And even another new SUV from Renault, the Renault Megane E-Tech Electric, which I also reviewed. If you want to see that video, I will leave a link in the description box below. That car does have a fully connected LED strip on the back. This car doesn't. It does have the brand new Renault logo here, the 2D logo that the Renault Megane E-Tech also has. And this is the second car by Renault that now has the new Renault logo. If we go a little bit lower, you can see it has Austral written out in full all over the back. It also has a little E here, and that's not because the car is called the Austral. It is the E because this is the hybrid version. This is the E-Tech hybrid version, and what that means I will tell you in a minute when I'm driving the car. But just so you know, this is not how you spell Austral. This is just the E because this is the E-Tech version. Welcome in the back of the Renault Austral. It is a pretty big SUV, so you expect a lot of room. and indeed there's plenty of room here. I'm 1m80, 180 centimeters, and I've still got plenty of room left for my legs and my knees. As you can tell, this seat is in the same seating position as how I use it, and yeah, there's still plenty of room for my knees. Headroom is a bit of an issue in this car though. Again, I'm 1m80 and I still got plenty of room left here, but if I would be a bit taller, let's say 5 centimeters taller, I would have an issue here because there's just not enough headroom. All in all, I would say it is a pretty comfortable place. You got 3 headrests here, so you can seat even 3 adults, I would say, because this is a pretty broad car. And as I said, you can move the seats forwards and backwards, so you can give your passengers a bit more space, or you can go for a bit more luggage space. In the middle, you got an armrest with 2 cup holders. You also got 2 air vents here and also 2 USB-C ports. And on this particular version of the car, you also get this enormous panoramic roof. You cannot open and close it, but you can close the cover, of course. It looks amazing. I do have to say you can only really enjoy the panoramic roof when you're in the back seats of this car, because when you're driving, you can even hardly notice it's there. So that's a bit of a shame, but that's how it goes with panoramic roofs. All right, let's take a look at the dashboard and let's do it while driving. The main difference between the Megane E-Tech Electric and this new SUV by Renault is that the Megane E-Tech Electric is, well, electric, and this car isn't. This car is available with a lot of different power options and also with electrified power options. So let's talk about the electric drivetrains, because I'm driving the E-Tech Hybrid, which is basically the most powerful version that you can get. This car uses a 1.2 3-cylinder petrol engine and an electric motor, giving it this car a power output of 200 horsepower, which is plenty for a car like this. It's quite a zippy car, especially with the instant torque from the electric motor. Now this car doesn't have a big battery pack, it only has a small 2 kWh battery pack, so this isn't a plug-in hybrid that you can plug in and charge. This car will basically charge itself. The car can use regenerative braking to charge the car, so when you hit the brake pedal, the starter motor will convert kinetic energy to power, and that will fill the 2 kWh battery pack, so you can do a little bit of electric driving. Not a lot, but I have to say the battery pack can charge itself quite quickly, so it kind of feels like you're doing a lot of electric driving in this car. They used this hybrid powertrain in other models before, like in the Renault Arcana, the Renault Clio, also in the Nissan Juke and also in the Dacia Jogger. But those cars had a 1.6 4-cylinder, and this car uses a 1.2 3-cylinder with a turbo. So that's basically the biggest difference between those cars and this car with this hybrid powertrain. What this car does have in common with the Megane E-Tech Electric is the interior. You basically get the exact same interior as in the Megane E-Tech Electric, and that is good news because that means you got a lot of screens in front of you. In fact, Renault likes to claim that there's 1 square meter of screens in the interior. They do count the head-up display as well. But you do get 2 very big screens in front of you. You get a 12-inch digital gauge cluster in front of you, and you also get a 12-inch infotainment screen. And just like in the Megane E-Tech Electric, this infotainment system runs Android Automotive. And that is the system that has been built by Google. It is probably the best infotainment system out there at this moment, and that is a big plus for this car because it's a really fast infotainment system. The system is just really fast, especially if you want to zoom out on a navigation screen, for instance, which is usually a big stress test for infotainment systems. You can notice that it doesn't lag at all. It just zooms out instantly, and whatever you try, you cannot get the system to fail or to freeze or whatever. It's just a very great system. Now, everything in the interior looks pretty classy, especially on this Alpine version, which is obviously the top of the line version, so obviously it looks extra nice. You also get a lot of Alpine elements in this car, so you get an Alpine logo in the headrest, you get a French flag on the side of the seat, and you also get some door sills with the Alpine logo as well. And you also get a lot of blue stitching, for example, on the seat belts, but also on the seats as well, and on the dashboard here as well. So that's it for this first quick look at the Megane Austral. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And then I'll see you in the next one.